Hola! So we're going to talk about the difference between tú and usted. So both words mean you. So this is a concept that's usually kind of difficult for English speakers to understand because we do not have two ways to say you. Both tú and usted are used for when you're talking to one person only. So if you're talking to just one person, you're going to decide if you're going to use either tú or usted when you want to say the word you. Tú is going to be for people you know well. It's going to be for friends, people who are your age or younger, people that you feel comfortable with. Usted is going to be for people who maybe you don't know very well, or you want to show them a little extra respect. Also, usted can be used with someone that you do know well, but if you're mad at them and you want to create some distance between them, then you could use usted. In general, when you think about the difference between tú and usted, I like to use an example, if you're an English speaker, of back in your teenage years, or if you are a teenager now, or if you're not, think about when you were a teenager. Let's say you go to your friend's house. That parent of your friend, let's pretend your friend's mom's name is Patty Jones. So, when you go to that friend's house, would you call their mom, would you say Mrs. Jones? If you would say Mrs. Jones, you would use probably usted with her in Spanish. If you would call her Patty, then probably you would say tú if you were talking to her in Spanish. That's a slight difference. One is slightly more formal than the other. So as you're talking with people in the Spanish-speaking world, you're going to find that although there are these general rules or general ways that it's done, it's not always exactly the same. Each family is going to have slightly different ways that they use tú and usted. Each country is going to have slightly different ways, but in general, tú is usually more casual, more informal. Usted is usually more formal. You'll get a feel for it as you kind of get to know people. Also, you can think about if you are at a store or anyone you're talking to, if you would say, "Excuse me, madam," or "Excuse me, sir," if you would use those words with them in English, if you would say sir or madam, then most likely in Spanish you would want to use the word usted when you're saying you. If you're talking to your friends just like, "Hey you, hey, what's going on?" then you would probably say tú. Another reason why these two words are important is as you keep learning, you're going to find that there's actually different verb forms that go along with each word. We're not going to talk about that right now, but just know that in the future, depending on whether you're going to use tú or usted, you're going to be picking a different version of the verb so that it'll sound right. Okay, if you have any other questions about tú or usted, make sure you leave a comment. Adios!